Welcome to another episode of Aussies taking over the NBA. Today we have a Celtics season snapshot, I guess you could call it. Just how the Celtics are traveling this season with Aron Baynes. Obviously, he went down with that hand injury, and I think he's lost about 3 weeks now. Is it? Yeah.
Fair chunk of time.
But we'll give a quick sort of overview of what they've done as a franchise. A little bit disappointing this season by their high standards, and most people's expectations. We're probably looking at a little bit of a better season this season, but a few pieces they're integrating still, which is Gordon Heyward, obviously, and then the return of Kyrie Irving from last season's run, which he missed a lot of that playoff run. But as you can know, you can find us on Aussies Taking Over the NBA on SoundCloud, on iTunes, on YouTube, on Pod Addict, on any RSS feeder. If it's not, and you find us on Facebook, come and say it's not on this RSS feeder, and we'll try and work out a way to get it out to you, because we want as many people listening as we possibly can.
Indeed.
Yeah, so the Celtics...
Weird season. Underperforming.
Strange
they were
stuff.
touted as the next generational team of the NBA, taking over the East from LeBron-less Cavs. Just hasn't come to fruition. Seems to be a weird conglomerate of people that are not performing well as a team.
Yeah, so I have no idea what to make of this team. Maybe the weight of expectations have collapsed on that team. Maybe last year they weren't the team everyone thought they were.
Yeah.
But I still think it was a blip. They're going to work it out. Obviously, some gravitational stuff in that Heyward injury, like Heyward going down. Maybe last year they would have struggled if Heyward hadn't have gone down. You never know. Integrating that guy into the team might have happened last year and not this year, and they might have struggled last year. So that's obviously one aspect of it. You've got also Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum pushing for time as well, and then Terry Rozier at the same time pushing for time, and then Daniel Tice as well. I think he can be mentioned as someone who was also injured last year. He is definitely another piece that's someone who can take minutes off of other people, and I mean, if they didn't have him there, they might be able to shuffle around a little bit more, but they've got to integrate him. And then Baynesy, of course, continuing on. I thought he had a really good season last season. He's continued on this season. Doing what he does best, stuffing the lane, defending well.
Sharp defense. Switching
out to the perimeter, knocking down a few threes. We'll go through all of his stats, but the Celtics in general at the time of this recording, they are 25 and 16. They're 13th in points per game, and then 6th in opposition points per game. So the defense is doing all right.
Good, yeah.
Their offensive rating is 9th, and their defensive rating is 4th. So the defense is still there.
That's it. Obviously. And they're the superior perimeter defending team. They are a bit of a small ball lineup, obviously, with their biggest player being Baynes and players at 6'10". But after that, it drops off quite a bit. Kind of that small ball lineup. Marcus Smart's only 6'4". Daniel Tice, who plays center sometimes, 6'8". So very that small ball team. Gabrish on Yabusele.
Whoa!
Yabusele.
Gershon Yabusele. That was one of our worst yet. We love this at the Aussies taking over the NBA. We love trying to pronounce names. It's great.
That one's a bad one. But yeah, 6'8". They're a small ball lineup, so they're going to be a premier perimeter team. Brad Stevens is obviously that minded in defensive. That way inclined. We can always talk about Greg Greg Runmo. Yeah, obviously with the Celtics last year, no longer there. So there's that like big chub body, and Baynes being injured, they're going to struggle at the 5 spot. I think against some elbow 5s.
I think Horford is struggling with injury. Like, he's had a few little niggles this season too that has kept him.
He's getting old, man. They haven't got a young center. He's getting old, 33.
They drafted Robert Williams, obviously. He's listed at 6'10". I thought he was 7 foot. You're right. Looking down that list, there's no 7-footer. There's no 7'1". There's no rim protector.
No.
They're kind of just an all-round small but chub, yet can play a little bit bigger lineup.
Yeah.
I guess one thing is the league moving away from that. Like you look at even Golden State have a 7-foot rim protector in Damian Jones. Obviously, he's injured at the moment. They were kind of the two teams that were like Golden State and Celtics were the two teams that were doing the same things. Like a bunch of 6'8", 6'9" guys that can play in all positions. But now we're seeing an emergence of all these other teams that have 7-foot guys and 7-foot guys that can shoot and defend the rim. So maybe it's gravitated a little bit.
It's always the way. It's always looking towards that next kind of big thing. But you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah.
They're still making a game of it, obviously, with 5th in the East.
Yeah. I think they're definitely, I think at their worst, they're still a playoff team.
Oh, they're going to be a playoff team for sure. There's just not enough depth in the East to warrant any kind of, tout on what they can do. We'll have a look at Baynes' stats for the year.
Yes.
He's now 33 years old.
I had 32.
Yeah, he's had a birthday since this.
Oh, there, wow.
So 33 this season. He's played 25 games, making 9 starts, 14.2 minutes per game, down 4 minutes on last year.
Yeah,
but,
I can understand that.
Yeah, 5.5 points per game. It's only down half a point per game, which means that he's getting some efficiency offensively, shooting 45.2% from the field, down slightly. He's making more 3-point attempts.
Yes.
Down from the playoffs.
I think
that's just, I think that was really against Philly, just Sean
spreading the floor. It was all of the playoffs, really. It was the Bucks series too. He hit a few timely threes and important 3-pointers, but I think it's a better snapshot of his shooting ability is that playoff series because he wasn't really taking threes throughout the year. I think he only took about 20 threes
throughout his whole career.
Through the whole career.
Pretty much.
So I think that playoffs is a better snapshot. That 11 from 23 is something that he's now added to his game, and he needs to be taken seriously at that percentage. If you know what I mean, like you can't look back and go, "Oh, he was shooting 22% over his career." You wouldn't close out on him because he showed in that playoff series that what did he shoot? Something like 48% or something like that. The other thing is too, his around the rim game is up a little bit. Like that was something last year that was just really poor. His around the rim game. His
finishing around the rim is a little bit better, and also traffic, protection.
It was just really bad last year, and it was worrying. It was really only making that move out to the perimeter to shoot that three that where you could go, okay, you could service him into the lineup a little bit. But if his finishing around the rim continued to decline, it would have been like, oh, that would have sucked the value out of having him on the floor. But that's improved a little bit. I think he's 1.4 makes on 2.7 attempts, 52%, which is up, which is really good. And his free throws up too. It must be the shooting the three balls helping him with his free throw and his shot in general. Offensive rebounding, 1.6 per game. It's the same as last season.
But assists, again, down minutes. He's working on his efficiency.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's less about positional matchup, and that's more about Hayward, Brown, and Tatum squeezing them into the lineup. It's going to really change the way they try. He
used to have some minutes at 4 last year as well as 5, and he seems to just be sitting at the 5 spot now, taking minutes away from Horford, who is injured or not playing, the same kind of at the same intensity of last year. And you can probably blame a lot of their woes on the fact that they don't have that high volume center who can play, most games. Horford's getting older. Baynes is getting older as well. These guys, the 5 spot is not a longevity position.
No.
They're typically big guys that, will struggle later in their careers with injury because they're just units. A lot of weight going through your body doing that kind of things. Defensively, rebounding, 2.7 per game. Blocks, same as last year. 11 blocks for the season. Turnovers and fouls down. Ball security a bit better and defense stronger. So just getting more efficiency on the minutes. And highlight for the season so far, 16 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and blocks. And a block, plus 16 against Atlanta. 5 from 7 from the field. Shooting a 3 and 100% at the line.
So just going by like what you were saying just before about him, he's predominantly playing every minute at center now. So as per B-Ball reference, it says he's 100% of the time he's played at center, where he played 1% last year for Boston at the power forward position. So I think it's the 3-man squeeze.
It's
that's
Hayward
changing
coming back
the way
in the
they
team,
play. Yeah,
taking away from them, and I don't think they're getting the efficiency out of Hayward they would have liked. Obviously, coming back into the team, he's averaging 11 points per game, just under 5 rebounds and 3.5 assists. That's not a lot for a $35 million man.
Nah. So if you look at their roster in general, Kyrie Irving, obviously their highest point scorer, 22 points per game. The highest effective field goal percentage is Marcus Morris, and then Tice, and then Kyrie Irving and Horford. So it's that extra piece they're shoving in there, which is Hayward, is really affecting. If you even go down further, it's really affecting sort of Tatum and then Brown. Like Jaylen Brown is not having a good season at all this season, I don't think.
He's had a couple of breakout performances, but not a great season for what he should be doing as like a big three or a big two or an average 3. 12 points per game, 4 rebounds and 1.5 assists. They don't seem to be like a team that, travels with the ball a lot. A lot of it is just ISO play, Kyrie Irving going Uncle Drew, Jaylen Brown kind of Tatum slashing a little bit, hitting that 3 spot. I mean, Jason Tatum's the second best player on their team by a country mile now. We kind of know that as a second year, 21-year-old, good height, stretches the floor well, aggressive on the rebounds, scores the ball efficiently. It's funny because you'd think that Ben Simmons had never scored a point in a game, but he's averaging the same as Jason Tatum. What do you think about that? Yeah. You're averaging the same points per game as Jason Tatum, who's a guy who's known for knocking down shots. Landry Shamet now has a higher top score than Jason Tatum. So again, this team is really about sharing the ball, but not potentially the standouts, except for when Kyrie goes Uncle Drew. So you have given good old Baynesy a B-.
Yeah, mine was a B-. Yep.
I can live with that. I think it's obviously he's not playing as much. We will see him for the Celtics next year. He's got a opt-in, which I imagine he will opt in for next year.
Baynesy. Yes, for sure. I would say he would, depending on what happens this season, especially in the playoffs. You're not sure what's going to happen come playoffs time. They could just get stoned out in the first round. I don't predict that's going to happen, but you never know. That's going to change the way someone thinks about the game in general. But I feel like he's found a home there, and it's a good home. They like him. He's an important part of their team, not just because of the pure basketball aspect of what he does. It's about a lot of things. It's his attitude. It's the way he fits the team. He's happy to sit on the bench if they don't need him. He's happy to come out and do what Brad Stevens needs him to do. He's a championship winner, of course.
Yep.
Got that ring with the Spurs. Going forward, if he comes back from injury, what do you reckon? He's going to just play purely center again?
Yeah, he'll just slot into the 5 spot and play more minutes if Horford is a little bit more injured. And Robert Williams, probably not the most effective center in the world. Young guy, probably needs to work on his craft a little bit. Daniel Tice seems to be playing some small ball center in absence. I just think that probably they're lacking. It's just going to be interesting to see what happens next year with 2 34-year-old centers that potentially could go down at any minute with injury. But let's get on to rating some of these other players.
Yeah.
Jabari Bird. Haven't really seen much of Jabari this year, averaging 3 points per game, 1.5 rebounds and half an assist, played out in 13 games. I'm going to give that man a C.
C.
Just haven't seen enough of him to warrant anything. 25-year-old. Just one of those really kind of bench role players. Jaylen Brown.
Yeah. Tough one, man.
Tough one indeed. Played 36 games, 12 points per game, 4.1 rebounds, 1.6 assists. Look, I think he's probably a little bit below par in terms of what he should be achieving. B- for me.
I would say C plus for me. Just for what he is and what he can offer that team, I don't know why it's not working.
Hayward, he needs more minutes. It's the log jam at 4. It's the log jam at 4. It
really is. You would think he would be almost playing the similar role to Marcus Smart, coming off the bench and just working hard and making things happen. And then if you look at the way Tatum's playing, Tatum's the guy that you need to have Jaylen Brown's attitude, if you know what I mean. Like, it's almost like you need to pull Tatum off and bring him off the bench because he has the right mentality. But Tatum's playing really well, so you're not going to bring him off the bench. Like, it's a strange one. I like Jaylen Brown too. I think his game really fits their team in general. Definitely. But we always just keep coming back to Heyward, like the turd in the punch bowl type of thing. Like, it's Heyward.
Who dropped the turd in the punch bowl?
Yeah. So who do you want to go to next?
PJ Dozier, another kind of outward role player we haven't really seen much of. We can give him a C. Hasn't just really shown enough to warrant really grading. Let's go to Gordon Heyward.
Oh, Gordy.
37 points, 37 games played, 11.2 points, 4.9 rebounds, 3.6 assists. Look, in the big scheme of things, coming back from a season injury, you probably want to give him in the Bs, but man, I give him a C+. Like, he's just not fitting this team. He's not living up to expectations. Only 234 games. Most of his games are in the low teens to single digits. Just don't, defensively on the perimeter really good, but just not doing it for me.
Nah, it just doesn't fit really, does it? I think
needs to be in the trade talks with AD. Off to New Orleans.
That's so harsh though, man.
It just makes sense. He's a $35 million contract. You can do a straight swap and probably add a sweet talker in there. Someone like, a Smart, even Scary Terry, going down to New Orleans, running the point, getting the Holiday at number 2. That would be not a bad team, but yeah, just not doing it for me. All right, let's go into Mr. Al Horford. Yeah, what are you rating Gordon?
Gordy, I had a C. I just doesn't fit, doesn't work.
Yeah.
I even feel like his own mentality and his own attitude is causing a problem with that too. Like, you want your player coming back on that kind of franchise contract to, doesn't matter, just work my nuts off for it, work my balls off and work. And it even feels like he's in his own head as well.
Yeah,
like,
massively.
Almost the Ingles type scenario where, oh no, it's okay, I can help this team. And it's like, yeah, but we need you to be the franchise guy and be the one who doesn't care about how you play and just work your nuts off. So I'm not sure, man. Like, I don't know if mentally he really fits this team or he fits in with this playing group either. Like, they kind of seem like they've got a few junkyard dogs.
Yeah.
And then Heyward needs to be another junkyard dog, and he's kind of, just not really. It's just, I'm kind of helping out the team, guys. Horford, for me, it's a B. I think he's had a few injuries. Shooting the ball, not too bad.
B is good, yeah.
But he is at 6'10" and getting older. They need someone bouncy at the 5 spot, really.
They do.
Robert Williams is not really that guy, I don't think. No. And if they could have got a good rim protector in that last draft, like a really good guy in the second round, there was some decent sort of centers that went not great.
Mate, Jock. Where's old Jock when it comes to the picture?
Yeah, but he's not a shot blocker though.
No, he's not.
Isaac Humphries, yeah, get that guy.
Oh, Humpho, yeah, mate. Look at Humpho.
But he's not really
Erie
a
Bayhawks.
Shot blocker either.
Could turn into it. He's a 7-footer. All right, I'm giving Horford a B.
Yep.
Just, he's a good all round. He'll come good playoffs. RJ Hunter, you can give him a C. Haven't really seen much of him at all. Uncle Drew.
Yep.
Got to give him an A-.
A-. I think you got to at least give him an A.
He's just Uncle Drew.
I think anything under an A, like whether it's A- or A, is
solid. Like, he's an all-star. He'll win your games. I just seems to be that this team plays a lot better without him.
It's bizarre.
It's bizarre. It's weird.
I think as a team they play a lot better without him, but the impact that he has on the franchise and the team itself, you can't mistake that.
Yeah, you
can't. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just one of those weird anomalies.
I can't explain why it doesn't work because he's just such a phenomenal player. Assisting the ball, I would wonder if his assist numbers are down. I'm just going to check that right now from last year. No, they're up. So there you go. How the fuck you meant to work that out? I don't understand. It's really weird.
We'll keep blasting through him. Marcus Morris, I'm going to give it A-. This dude is a good player.
I think B+.
Like what he does. Like what he does. Semi Ogilvy.
C.
C?
Yeah, C for me.
Just doesn't do much for me. Kind of that really depth role player. Scary Terry. Look, Scary Terry last year for me was an A-. This year probably a B+, just due to the fact he's not getting the minutes. But for an undersized guard, I think he does well.
Yeah, great backup guy, great deep role player.
He's actually shorter than TJ McConnell.
Is he? What's
TJ's 6'2". He just feels like a 5'4". I don't know. Just in that team with the Giants, I think.
Yeah, but he's like the Flash. He tends to get into his own space with shooting though. That's a kind of a problem where he'll just start jacking up shots, and you're just like, Terry, chill out, mate, chill out, move the ball. It's all right. For me, he is a B.
Yeah. Mark Smart. What did I say for Scary? Yeah, Terry is a B.
B, yeah.
Mark Smart, probably not had the best year in terms of what he does. He's had better years, I think, but again, that he should be really owning that 2 spot. Hasn't owned it, and for that, I'm giving him a C+.
C+, yeah, I think probably a B- for me. The problem is he's not a stats guy, and he's not
he's like that hustle guy that just
junkyard dog of that team, and what he gives to that team isn't really reflected on the score sheet. He's obviously got the most steals. I think you can't quantify what he gives a team.
Yeah.
In terms of leadership and defensive ability. And he likes to shoot the 3 ball, but I don't think he's shooting the 3 ball all that well this season. Marcus Smart, 35%.
It's not bad.
It's not great.
It's not great. It's not bad. Remember the 3 ball used to be an acceptable clip. Used to be 32%. Now it's like
now it's like
if you're
40.
Not if you're not above 40, you're a turd.
Rubbish. Get rid of him.
Move on. Tatum, A-. He's just for a second year guy. He's just smart, defends the perimeter well, scores the ball well, aggressively rebounds, and he'll be a generational talent, I think.
Yeah, I've given him an A. I just think they're in the annoying position at the moment of just blow the entire friend, get rid of everyone. Tatum, you're the guy. Put some shooters around him. But you can't do that. That's such a big move for a team like this that it's never going to happen like that.
We just don't know what's going to happen in that AD trade. He's that kind of chip piece that they could potentially get for AD with Hayward, and then you'd have pretty much a set team that wouldn't be logjag at 4. Jaylen Brown could play 3. The smart, Marcus Smart can play 2. Yeah. Morris can play, that floating 3-4 role in backup of AD. So, and you've got that rim protector in AD as well, who can, switch across on the defense and play a bit of 5 defensively. But,
Anyone else you want to rate?
Yeah, Daniel Tice. I'm going to hit a B-. I think he's done quite well this year for his size and what he has done. Had some good breakout games. And then we can talk about the trash from there. Brad Wanamaker, C-.
Yeah, it's kind of just...
Yeah, Robert Williams, C. Just the scrubs, I think. And Gershon Yabusele, C. Got it right that time.
But yeah, so where do you see the Celtics finishing at the
I
end
see
of
them
this
probably
season?
getting into the 4th spot. I see Philly probably dropping out of the top 4, potentially with...
You reckon?
Yeah, I just think the Raptors and the Bucks are just too strong, and until the Pacers drop off a bit, I think they're not the Victor Oladipo show that they were last year. They've got some other good players coming through and having...
Turner's playing really well.
Turner's playing well.
Bojan,
Tadius.
Bogdanovic.
Yeah, so they've got some other players that are playing really well, and it'll be good to see from there.
There's only four games separating those 4 spots, though.
Yeah, I know. It's anyone's thing, but that's why I think they'll sneak into the 4th spot.
Yeah, I can see them finishing in the 5th spot. I'm not banking on that, but I think they're just happy with playoffs, man. They'll work it out come playoff time, whoever they need to play. I still feel like all 8 teams, or maybe all top 5 teams, can beat the other teams in the playoff race in the East.
At home, at least. At home, anyway.
So that's about it. Bainesy obviously struggling a little bit. When's he back? Next week.
Hopefully next week. Hopefully.
And then hopefully we can start bringing you more info on him. What have we got coming up next? We've got Dallas and we've got Spurs as well.
Dallas, Spurs and Bucks still to do, which we will get done this week some stage.
Yeah, and then over and under.
Over and unders and bringing you the games.
Yep.
All right, guys.
We're up to date.
We are.
Somewhat on the games.
We'll share this with our Celtics fans and take it from there.
All right.
Take it
Take it
easy.
easy, Pete.
Bye.